Look at this.
The dream team are back together. Lowndes and Scaife win the 500.
I'm Mark Scaife, and I've been a long-time Holden driver, fortunate enough to win a few races for them over the years.
Out in front, veteran Mark Scaife was chasing his 5th race win of the series.
We have never really envisaged a local landscape without Holden. It's such an iconic brand, and a brand that has been so ingrained in our DNA that I'm blown away. It's very sad.
Holden, you in my Holden. Life is simply divine.
The FX, the first Holden, the 1948 symbol of our manufacturing maturity.
I've made the analogy of a family member dying. I mean, it's something that first I didn't see coming.
Scaife held off Jason Richards in the 12-lap dash to the checkered flag, his 5th Bathurst win.
Mark Scaife is a 5-time Supercars champion. He took the checkered flag 80 times in a Holden Commodore.
Scaife regained the lead with 15 laps to go.
And there's no doubt that red versus blue, Holden versus Ford tribalism is something that we've been empowered by. We've certainly been the beneficiaries of that level of loyalty and fan support. And they sold basically roughly 7.7 million cars. There were times in our history that 1 in 4 cars sold in this country were a Commodore or a Holden.
Oh, Steve, could you move the Chimera? I need to get the Tirana out so I can get to the Commodore.
I'll have to get the keys to Cortina if I'm going to move that Chimera.
He questions whether enough was done to promote the Commodore when manufacture was shifted overseas.
The real death knell was ceasing local manufacture. And when the plant closed down at Elizabeth and we stopped making Commodores in this country, Australians are savvy. They know that the replacement car, it didn't espouse, it didn't have what Commodore had in its DNA.
Mark Scaife remains heavily involved in the Supercars Championship, which now has to reinvent itself without the Holden brand.
I have no doubt that supercar racing is sustainable in the future. As harsh as it is, supercar racing, car racing as the sport of the industry is bigger than just Holden.
My husband and I are delighted to have been able to come and see Elizabeth and so many of its people.
My name's Jeff Penny. I'm part of the Holden dynasty, one might say. I worked at Holden's for 38 years. Coming up here into the office is where my journey started with Holden's.
For Jeff Penny, working at Holden was a family tradition.
In the early, late 60s into the 70s, Holden's had this unique thing that they'd also scope in how family members could be prioritised to get jobs there. That took both my brother and myself to go and get a job in there, and we've never looked back since.
In its heyday, Holden ran 3 shifts and made 780 cars a day.
A lot of my time I spent in the vehicle assembly plant. It could be hard work in some of the areas.
There's a whisper on the wind, one road.
The recent announcement that General Motors Holden's had made a $100 million loss in 1985 surprised many economic forecasters.
But the good times didn't last. Sales slowed and the federal government ruled out any further support.
So it was like any family. We had our ups and downs and get on there, but we battled through. Just unfortunately, that last battle was one that we couldn't win.
Jeff took a redundancy before the final Australian-built Holden rolled off the assembly line in 2017.
Obviously, meat pies, football and Holden cars is the traditional thing we'll owe, but behind that is also the massive story of automotive engineering and how it was uniquely used through the 50s, 60s and 70s of supporting a nation.
My name's Graham Milford. I'm a Vice President of the Lions Pride Car Club, and we all come together for that one passion, and that's our cars.
There's no hiding how much Graham Milford loves his Holdens.
With Holdens, it started off with me as a passion and then it turned into an obsession. I absolutely love the cars. I've got my 3 babies behind me, and even though they're 3 Holdens, each one has individual strings to my heart.
Is this the car Australia has been waiting for, and waiting for, and waiting for, and waiting for?
I grew up with Holdens. My dad, 90% of his cars were Holdens. Probably started the obsession in '73 when my brother bought a Tirana. And I used to spend every weekend cleaning that car for him, and it went on from there.
Holden is the only car designed and built for Australia.
Holden just stands for Australia. The blue and white one, that's a 1961 EK, that's a special. With the steering wheel, it's got a Southern Cross emblem on it. You're not going to buy another car like that. They don't manufacture anything like that anymore.
Something which is always fairly important in a family sedan is the boot.
The green one is a UC Tirana hatchback. It's a 1978. A bit more of a play car because, you know, they're very low to the ground.
I've found that this car is a very nice car to drive. The suspension's very smooth and it is quiet.
The silver one is an 81 SLE Commodore, which was like a luxury model Commodore for Holden. It's even got wipers on the headlights and washers. I've never used them, but they're there.
Graham was devastated when he learned of the loss of a national institution.
And they're saying it's going to affect over 600 people. A lot of these people, that was their life. It's just something, an Australian icon that's just gone. And they'll never replace it.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.